Vagisil. They could have named that shit anything. It's the name brand. They had money to name it whatever they wanted. They could have named it Just an Itch, you know? At least then you have plausible deniability, right? What's that Just an Itch for? I had an itchy armpit. Thought I'd get a cream for it. No, it's for an itchy vag. That's horrible. That's disgusting. And if you're wondering, that is my favorite term for a female. That particular part of the female body is vag. I hate the term vagina because it sounds too clinical, you know? If a dude came up to you and said, I hooked up with some vagina last night, you'd be like, where do you hide your bodies? Because you sound like a serial killer right now. And every other term for it sounds too crass. That's why I like vag. Vag sounds a lot like badge. Like if you sell enough cookies, you can put a badge on your sash. Like a badge of honor. This is getting weird, we're gonna move on. All right. The other reason I can't buy condoms is I go up to the cashier with condoms, I always feel like she's laughing at me. Really, sir, a 12-pack? That's pretty optimistic, isn't it? Listen, lady, I realize most of these are gonna expire. But I'm not paying 30 cents a condom for the 6-pack when I can pay 20 cents per for this 12-pack. Why you buy Magnums then? Because that's what I had a coupon for. It's also why I'm buying the rubber bands. Yeah, I just didn't need those of you that know what Magnums are to be staring at my crotch the rest of the show. Like, really? Really? You can fit like, I don't know, actually. What I can see of it still? No. But to be honest with you, the fact that I can still see some of it is pretty impressive to me. It's not sexy. That's good enough for peekaboo at bath time. That's not sexy, that's me spitting water in my belly button and pretending I'm a fountain. It's not sexy time, it's just bath time. Guys will leave me hanging on this, but every guy does. Every guy's done that shit at some point in their life. They spit water in their belly button. I bet most guys in here too have done that. You know that carnival game where you shoot water into the mouth of something and blow up the balloon? I'll do that same thing. Like this, it's sticking up, I might as well aim at it, right? And you just try to shoot a straight stream of water right at it. It is just me? All right, whatever. Screw you guys, leave me hanging. I do some weird things on my free time. I have a lot of free time too, so. I do live with my folks. I live with my folks. Yeah, 30 years old, live with folks. This fat, bald with their parents. You fit the trifecta of the dating scene at that point. You know your dating life is awesome when even in your fantasies you're the wingman. Yeah, I even called a phone sex line recently. I don't normally do that kind of thing, but my internet wasn't working, so. Yeah, I called this thing, it was very awkward for me. Individual results may vary, but for me it was, I called, all right, it was like this. So, hello, my name is Candy, what's yours? Brian? Hi, Brian, that's a sexy name. So, Brian, what can I do for you? You could pass the phone to a woman. That'd be sweet. Candy, like what kind of candy am I talking about anyways? It's Mike or Ike over here, what the hell is going on? If I can hear the penis through your voice, I'm hanging that shit up, that's what's happening. There's a definite tone in the penis. Yeah. What would you like me to do? Nothing with you. Nothing with you, I'm gonna pass, is what I'm gonna do. Live with the folks, I love my grandma lives with us too. Yeah, in fact she has the top bunk, so. It's easier for her to get up there than me, so don't feel bad for grandma. It's good that she's still active at that age, you know? Anyway. She's always worrying about shit. She's always worried about stuff she sees on the news. Brian, I've been seeing on the news, a lot of people going out using date rape drugs to roofies. All I'm saying is when you go out, please watch your drink. Grandma, if somebody wanted a way to put a date rape drug in my drink, I'd probably be flattered, you know? Like I'd be drowsy, maybe, but flattered. I say drowsy because I don't know if any of you ladies in here are actually thinking about taking a ride in this bounce house after the show. But if that is the case, make sure that make sure you know that it takes more than one pill to put this horse down, you know what I'm saying? You plan on slipping a Mickey, make sure Mickey has friends, otherwise you're just teasing and that's bullshit. So I'm gonna get out of here, you guys, but I have to share this with you. That's another way to share myself. I have the world's stupidest talent. It's completely useless. Not even sure, I'm just gonna do it. It's that is the most polite reaction to that I've ever gotten. I'm starting to think you guys are like a group of golf fans or some shit. That's just never seen that before. That's golf clap. Normally I get a lot of shocked silence. You guys are like, no, that's neat. There's a good chance you applauded a birth defect, though. I will tell you that. I tricked you guys into applauding for a birth defect, and I like that, of what I just did. This is useless. But as a comedian, I travel a lot, and sometimes I meet up with families that I used to know, and now they become super religious. I see that on Facebook all the time. I want to meet up with one of these families in one of my travels, have them have me over for dinner, and then get in that circle, doing the grace, right? Bless the soul, Lord, for these are gifts, which we're... What the hell is your prayer doing to me, you guys? This is kind of screwed up. I don't know what the hell you guys are doing to this. What kind of Satan kind of crap religion have you guys gotten into? This is horrible. Screw them all up. All right. Here's an important question. Are you guys ready for the show to get started? Yeah? You guys really do have a weird energy in here. This is the weirdest energy I've ever had from a crowd. But keep it up. Weird energy, low energy, high energy, whatever it is you guys give it up. And I want you guys to get up nice and loud for your first act this evening. Very funny dude, very cool guy. He's originally from New York. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Nick D.
All right, give it up for Brian. I swear every time he does that head thing, I think he's going to end up in somebody's nachos. But yeah, I'm from New York. I moved down here to Jacksonville a few years ago, and almost from the minute I got here, everybody asked me the same thing: is why Jacksonville? Well, we were headed to Boca, like everybody else from New York, and I got off at Phillips Highway to use the bathroom and just said, screw it, let's live here. I guess in hindsight, I should have held it in until we got to Ponte Vedra. But while I was in New York, I spent 20 years as a New York City police officer. I retired back in, thank you. Obviously, a group of people that never saw me do the job. Thank you very much. I retired back in 2008, which was about 6 years and 50 pounds ago. And someone once asked me what was the worst day I ever had on the job up there. I said, I think that's pretty obvious. Police, New York, worst day. It was the day McDonald's stopped selling the McRib. But what I liked about being a cop in New York is that there were so many of us, so there was a lot of opportunity to move around. And I was a bicycle cop for a little while. And I don't know if it was the way I looked or whatever, but they assigned me to one of those big tricycles that you see old people pedaling around in. The bell, the streamers, the big ass basket on the back. It was a little embarrassing. So I transferred, I went to the canine unit to work with dogs, and it was going well, but the German Shepherd that they assigned me was a dropout from seeing eye dog school. Great dog, but every time we'd go after chase after somebody, he would stop at every corner and look both ways to make sure there were no cars coming. Lost a lot of bad guys that way. Well, I'm going to spare you the story of when I was in the motorcycle unit and I wanted to wear assless chaps. Nobody wanted to see that. But I did most of my time in the NYPD working in the Bronx. If you're not familiar with the Bronx, it's a lot like the North Side, only not quite as peaceful. And if you know those areas, you know that parenting is not a skill that's too widely practiced. So we're on patrol one day and I see this kid, probably 6 or 7 years old, drinking from a can of Budweiser. So we get out, pull over, we get out and I talk to him. I said, hey, don't you think you're a little bit too young to be drinking beer? He goes, oh, that's nothing. I got laid when I was 3. I said, 3? How the hell did that happen? I said, I don't know, I was too drunk to remember. But the thing I didn't like about being a cop was writing tickets. I know you probably don't believe that, but yeah, most of the cops I work with, they would say the same thing. That's not to say that there aren't heartless cops out there on a power trip that would give their own mother a ticket. There are. You know them by their given name, the Florida Highway Patrol. But my favorite was always the excuses, right? Gotta pee, gotta poop, gotta jerk off. I've heard them all. But the all-time favorite has got to be, why aren't you out there arresting drug dealers? Always drug dealers. Never murderers, rapists, child molesters. Always the poor, misunderstood drug dealer. You know, he's got to feed his family too. So I'm about to hand this lady her ticket one day, and she says, you know, they're selling drugs right up there in the park. I said, really? I said, all right, I'll tell you what. You lead the way, I'll follow you. You point them out, I'll lock them up, we'll throw this ticket away. She goes, well, I don't know who they are. I said, oh, that's too bad. Here's your ticket. And my friends would always ask me, what TV show gets the cop thing right? You know, what's the most accurate? Well, I never really watched too many shows about police work. I was only getting enough of the real stuff at work, and I didn't want to come home and watch a TV show about my job. Unless, of course, my job was gynecologist. I would watch a TV show about that. Or better yet, gynecologist by day, cop by night. I could be the labia lawman, or the vagina vigilante. But the reason I don't watch a lot of TV today is the lack of theme songs. You know, back in the old days, you had theme songs at the beginning of every show to tell you what everything was all about. Brady Bunch, fine example. It's a story, lovely lady, bringing up three very lovely girls. Right off the bat, you know who the characters are, how they're related. And by the way, am I the only one who thinks that those kids didn't grieve long enough for their dead parents? I mean, these were little kids. Your mom dies, you wake up the next day and dad's doing a hot blonde down the street and everything's okay? Just didn't add up for me. And another good show with a good theme song, of course, was Gilligan's Island, right? Very narrative, very informative, tells you who everybody is. The mate was a mighty sailing man, the skipper, brave and sure. Okay? You can turn the show off right after the theme song, you won't miss a thing. It told you everything you need to know. But another thing is, why didn't the population of that island ever change? Right? You had a beautiful movie star, a cute farm girl, and nobody on that island was getting their freak on. If I was a skipper, I'd be like, Marianne, come down here and give me a hand with the captain's log. But while watching TV the other night, I came across this commercial for an online school for grades kindergarten through 12. So now, if your kid goes to an online college, he'll go the first 22 years of his life without having to interact with a real human being. I'm not sure I would have liked that too much. I kind of like my high school days. I was a bit of a theater geek and also president of my AV squad, so you know, chick magnet. That's right. And besides, if your kid goes to school online, how's he supposed to have sex with his teacher? Right? Like, can you believe how much this still goes on today? I mean, what could these teachers be thinking? You're gonna have sex with a 16-year-old boy and he's not gonna tell his friends about it? I mean, if that was me, that shit would have been part of my yearbook profile. Right? Football, 2 and 3. School paper, 2 and 3. Did Miss Webster in the art supply closet, 3 and 4. And then, of course, I'd have to let the world know by putting it on social media. I think social media is getting all played out. Now, don't get me wrong, I Facebook, I tweet, I Instagram, I've been known to Reddit from time to time. But now we just know way too much about each other so that when we finally get together, we got nothing to say. And if we do say something, it's usually about a Facebook post. Hey Bob, how was that hamburger you had last week? Well, it was delicious. You see the dump I tweeted about 2 hours later? I mean, why does anybody think that the world needs to know these things? We didn't before, so why should we now, right? The other day, one of my Facebook friends posted a bunch of pictures of her kid who graduated from pre-K. I mean, pre-K, really? Come on. It's not Harvard, it's not high school, it's pre-K. You should post the truth. What you really did was successfully set your alarm clock for an entire school year and drop your little shit off for somebody else to watch for a few hours. Thank you so much. So my wife and I recently celebrated our 15th wedding anniversary. It's not my first marriage. I got divorced several years ago. Oh, it's not divorced anymore. It's conscious uncoupling. Have you ever heard of anything so damn pretentious? Conscious uncoupling? Come on. Why is it so hard for celebrities to admit they're not good at something? Oh, I've been consciously uncoupled. Oh no, you suck at marriage. That's all. Welcome to the club. 50% of the world sucks at marriage. And while we're at it, you suck at naming your kids too. So when I came down here, one of the first things I had to get used to was Southern hospitality. Let me tell you, it's a real thing. It exists. And the first time I ran into it was right across the street here at the Publix. I was in there one day getting groceries. I get online, and this little old lady starts unpacking my cart and putting it on the belt. I said, hey, What are you doing? It's my stuff. Leave my stuff alone. So she said, no, sir, this is my job. This is what we do. We'll unpack the cart for you. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So then the cashier's bringing it up. She put it all in bags for me. This is pretty neat, because in New York, you don't bag your own groceries. You get the cashier a death stare, and you don't want that. So then it's all loaded up, and this lady, she must have been like 75, 80 years old, probably weighed 90 pounds, soaking wet. She offers to take it and pack my car for me. Well, I said, what am I going to say? I said, yeah. And I said, and while you're at it, grab one of them rug shampoos and 5-gallon water jugs, just throw it up on your shoulder. But another thing I discovered about people down here is that you really like your piercings and tattoos. A lot of piercings. I saw this girl the other day. She had so much metal in her face. She looked like the drawer in my kitchen where we keep the utensils. I mean, airport security, how'd you like to be stuck behind this woman? I'm sorry, ma'am, you gotta take all the metal off? Okay. You know where it is. No! You hold that for me? Oh, it's okay. But, yeah. So when I moved down here, I discovered that I live next door to a gay couple. They're my neighbors, or my gayers, I guess you call them. But, really nice guys. In fact, when we moved into the neighborhood, they were the first ones to come over and say hello. It wasn't so much hello as your dog just took a dump on my front lawn, please clean it up. But over the time that I've been here, I've become very friendly with them. So much so last week, or a couple of weeks ago actually, I was taking a vacation. My ride to the airport crapped out at the last minute. So I gave my neighbor a call. His name is Chuck. I said, hey Chuck, would you mind giving me a ride to the airport? He said, oh, of course, where are you going? And I said, well, I'm taking a little vacation. And he goes, oh, good, I'll come over and pack your shit. That's okay. I got that. So then, we're headed up to the airport at 95, and you know, we're running kind of late, so I look over at the cruise control. He's got it set at 68. I say, Chuck, you know, can we speed it up a little bit? I'm going to miss my plane. And he goes, I would, but I'm afraid if I go to 69, I'll blow a rock. It's understood. But I love the way that my mom refers to my neighbors. She can't just call them those two guys. She feels the need to give the whole backstory, or I guess backdoor story, you call it. But the other day I overheard her talking to her sister on the phone, and she was like, Marjorie, do you, oh, did I mention we're from Long Island? Okay. Marjorie, do you know who lives next door to your nephew? Two of those gays. But they're so nice and they're so kind, and you'd never know they were like that, and I just love it when two men love each other like that. And they're just so impeccably dressed all the time. And then she's always on me, you know, you should dress more like Chuck and Chris. I said, well, you know, Ma, when you spend all the time in the closet, you got a lot of time to pick out a really nice outfit. Thank you very much. You've been great. My name is Nick.
Nikki, everybody give it a go for, please. Nikki. Yeah, do make sure to keep with your comic cards as we go, and that way the performance is fresh in your mind. And also, drink up some more, you guys. Drinking will help bring you guys together as a crowd, and we'll all laugh at the same stuff together, all at one time. That's a unique concept, I know, but it'll be fun if we do it that way. So, ladies and gentlemen, you guys ready for your next comic? Yeah? Then give it up nice.